I don't know if you are an individual that have felt like you have been the firefighter for everybody around you. And when you feel like you need some support along the way, nobody's really there. You are intentional with your actions. You're intentional with your thoughts. That intentionality causes the rest of you to be intentional as well as you walk through your journey. Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Today, we're going to unpack some elements about Robert. He now has stepped into his leadership position. He almost decided not to get out of bed that morning because when his alarm went off, he was wondering, should I really do this once again? Because parts of his life that he was walking through made him feel some type of way. He sat there as the alarm went off for the third time. The presentation ran through his mind, the big client that he knew was coming. Myers' recital was that evening, and then he had the text from the ex. All of this weighed him down. And for a moment, he was thinking how he felt in the aftermath of his divorce when he decided he was not getting out of bed. I don't know if you are an individual that have felt like you have been the firefighter for everybody around you. And when you feel like you need some support along the way, nobody's really there. You've got to inspire and strengthen yourself. But if you find that's you, there are 3 things today that I want to support you in that I had to walk through when I was inside of my Robert moment. The first thing I want you to know, lead yourself first. You cannot make certain that everybody else is okay if you are not okay. I know. I get that it sounds simple, but I realize that it's not really that easy. So pick one simple, tangible action that you can anchor yourself to today. One of the things that Robert did was just make a decision. Make up his bed. That's a simple thought, but I want you to know, making up your bed gives your mind a thought process that you are going to be prepared for the day. You're not getting back in the bed. You're not going to make other moves to sort of get comfortable underneath the covers. You are intentional with your actions. You're intentional with your thoughts. That intentionality causes the rest of you to be intentional as well as you walk through your journey. So take 5 minutes, pause, get up, make it up, and then begin your day. That will give you the opportunity to know that you can commit to making something happen for you. Even if nobody else sees it, you know you accomplished one thing that day. Here's the second thing I want you to do. Tell the truth about where you are and what you're dealing with. Too many of us are in leadership positions thinking that because you're the leader, you've got the title, so you've got to do all the things. Admit to yourself that you don't have to always lead everything. If you have a team, delegate some stuff to your team. Too many times we're walking into spaces and places where we are not fully functioning or operating in a capacity, thinking we got to do it all. And if you've got to do it all, why do you have a team? Name what you really need right now. For some of us to feel that we're always the firefighters in the moment, where you've got to make certain that everybody gets everything done and then you've got to pick it up. Trust your team. They're there for a reason. If they weren't capable of doing the job that you have hired them for or that you're leading them in, find measures of supporting them. That's the leadership position. It's not you doing everything, taking on everything. You need to be mindful of when you need to rest, when you need to clarify what your support is. And the biggest thing about leadership is guiding the people around you to get the job done. So share what you need. Find somebody trusted, because get it, you cannot share everything with everybody. And if you're in a leadership position where some people are using what you consider or they consider the flaws of your soul against you, be selective. Not everybody can handle your stuff. So be wise about choosing someone safe to share what you need, be it a family member, that trusted coworker that has already gone through most of those storms on your job that you've gone through as well. Find out who that is in your current situation. Here's the third thing I want you to do. Create a faith to function leadership routine. I know. When I was going through my chaos at that moment, I was struggling to have the faith to function. There is something that you can do that combine how you function spiritually with how you're functioning physically. That combination will give you the courage Here's something that I did. 10 minutes in the morning, I pause to pray. Then I get it that prayer for a lot of people, you're making it seem like it's some big thing. 5 minutes to 10 minutes is enough because here's the thing. It's just a quick touch point with your soul, having a conversation with God, being reminded that there's a creator bigger than yourself that can get you through this thing called life. You were never designed to function alone. So don't think that you have got to do this thing alone. Let God join you on the journey so that you can get to the path and the desired results that you're seeking. Then after you do your 5 to 10 minutes of quiet time with God, prayer, simple conversation, take 10 minutes of movement. A lot of us are in positions in leadership where we are sitting down all the time. You got to sit down for the meetings. You got to sit down to write the reports. You got to sit down, sit down. Your body was built to move. And if you take 10 minutes of movement, it supports you to be able to do the thing that you intend to do. Your body recognizes that that movement means that there's some things that we have got to get done. And as you get those things done, other elements of what you need to do will get done as well. When you do this, take a few moments. Around midday, do a check-in on yourself. Check to see, did you really get up to move? Check to see if the prayer that you had that morning, maybe like it was for me, just praying that God calms your soul throughout the day. Take a check to see if you were calm throughout the day. Because for some of us, we're just running back and forth to different meetings, and you are giving yourself different stress spikes, adrenaline spikes, and those spikes, those have an effect on your body. Some of us are tired all the time and gaining so much weight. Life changes happen, but a lot of that is because you're stressing all the time. Do not allow yourself to be in a position where you're constantly having life deal what it wants to do with you. Check in with yourself. See, did you get the answered prayer, or are you guiding towards that intentional decision? Because that's the best way to lead you. And if you can do that, you'll be a better leader to those around you. Here's the next thing that you can do. In the evenings, do a self-check, what I call a gratitude review. Take a moment and list 3 things that day that you're grateful for. There's a thing that somebody told me. There's no way possible that you can have a whole bunch of chaos in your life and gratitude at the same time. So be grateful. List 3 things. Just start. And I often share with my clients, have a gratitude journal. If you journal what you are grateful for and you find yourself in a slump, because in the aftermath of the chaos of my divorce, y'all, I found myself in a lot of slumps. So I had a journal. I wrote down today, Tanya, you did good. You didn't scream at anybody, and you did the one thing that you were supposed to do, make up your bed. I know that's real simple, but that making up my bed every day was the best thing for me. And I'm hoping it's one quick strategy that's a support for you. So when you do this, take a look at what your journal looks like. If you do this for 30 days straight, if you did just 3 things, you have almost 100 things that you're grateful for. That gratitude does another thing. It encourages you. It gives you confidence. It helps you to stand. And when you stand for what you need for you, as a leader, you can stand for what you need to do for others. So that's what this episode that we're walking through, because as Robert was walking through his journey, he had an opportunity to do a few of these things that I'm sharing with you. And you can build your leadership journey step by step, like Robert did in his journey. And for those of you that are looking for his next book to come out, well, I'm slowly rolling out those ebooks. For those that are joining us in various places, I want you to know, if you have an idea about your Robert story, because the action-oriented soul inside of all of us has a touch point that we can each see in one another. Robert's leadership journey is just one touch point that I'm offering to you. Some parts of my story is in it, but I'd like to share elements of your story too, because as an action-oriented individual walking through our leadership journey, each of us got a small touch point that we can share, a strategy that we can use to support one another. These 3 strategies are strategies that I have used. And if any of this resonates with you, then it's time to reset. So like, comment, and share this information with others. But before I leave, looked at me like I was crazy. But I knew what I had to do. It was time for him to go. So I packed up his things. Red Alert. Is he the one? The pocket guide, the find and love of your life, tells my story. The free chapter is available for you in the link below. I want to leave you with a next level note. You see, the next level note, for those of you that are just getting the chance to meet it, my next level notes are those elements that I have gained, some strategies and principles that support me on my journey. A lot of what I share with you all, those touch points come from the basic instruction book before leaving Earth. And it is there that I learned to put these things into practice. Because when you decide to put some elements into practice, combining your personal and professional life, you are completely whole and authentic in every area of your life. And that's what a lot of us want, to be authentic everywhere we go. But life makes you think that you can't. So here's the story that I gathered that made me get out of bed. So that 5 minutes I was just sharing, that 5-minute conversation that I had with God, AKA prayer. In my quiet time with God, I read this story about this man. He was laid up by what they call the pool of Bethesda. It was there that he went because day after day, there were individuals in that space and place that were getting healed. For a lot of us going through some drama, we just want to be in a place where we can get healed. And in that moment of where he was going to get healed, he was trying desperately to get into the waters because the legend said that if you were in the waters when it got stirred up by the angels, you would be healed. Well, he was there for 38 years, trying desperately to get his breakthrough. Have you been in some place for decades trying to get your breakthrough? In the aftermath of the chaos of my divorce, over a decade in that marriage, I was struggling to try to get my healing as well. So when I read how much time it took him, I felt some type of way, like, well, God has taken me a long time as well. And then as I continued to read a little further on, I read where Jesus stopped by the pool of Bethesda to see who was willing to be healed. And he asked that man, are you willing to be healed? Now you would think, after all this time trying to get somebody to help him, trying to be healed, that he would have said yes. But what did he do? He did the same thing that a lot of us do. He gave an excuse. He said, well, every time I try to go to the pool, somebody else gets in and I can't get healed. What excuses are you giving for moments where you can be healed? Because some of us are stuck in patterns of familiarity. I was stuck in a pattern of familiarity, familiar with the chaos from my ex, familiar with the chaos of my past, familiar with the chaos that the environment that I was living in brought me. And because of that familiarity, I was afraid. I was afraid to leave it because the familiar chaos was better in my head than the unknown certainty that could bring me freedom. Here's the thing I want to encourage you with in this moment. Move through the process. Say yes to the healing, and you will have to probably stumble like this man did, because when Jesus said, get up, take up your mat and walk, taking up his mat was the very same thing as it was for me to make up my bed, which is why I gave you that strategy. Because the day that I decided to consistently make up my bed, I wasn't getting back in it, which meant I had to be intentional with the next things in my day. And so for today, I want you to be intentional with your next step for your day. And if there's anything that you would like for me to do to support you on the journey, feel free to go to my website, tanyaehood.com. There you can click under the Work With Me tab and see the various ways that we can work with one another. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.